The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly, dotted with distant stars. The Empire's tracking station, perched on the edge of a neutral star system, suddenly lit up with an alert. Every sensor in the station beeped and flashed. Try and make sense of what appeared on the screens. "Impossible, this speed," muttered Lieutenant Caro, his eyes glued to the monitors. The object was moving faster than anything the Empire had ever recorded, faster than their fastest interceptor, faster than even the experimental warp scouts. And the strangest part? It left no signature, no signal, no origin. Captain Liora stepped forward, her uniform crisp, her expression calm, but her mind racing. She had seen many strange things in her 20 years of service, but this was different. The object was a blur on their instruments, a ghost slipping through the Empire's grasp. "Bring the fleet online," Liora ordered. "I want every sensor tracking it. Prepare the Sentinel for immediate launch. I don't care what it takes. We follow it." "Yes, Captain," Caro replied, still staring at the screen in disbelief. The object blinked in and out of detection, almost as if it was playing with them. As the crew of the Sentinel prepared for launch, the object suddenly changed direction, a sharp, impossible turn that sent every navigator scrambling. The fleet struggled to keep up. Thrusters roared, shields hummed, and the stars outside stretched into long streaks from the sudden acceleration. Yet still, the object was ahead, always ahead, faster than anyone could calculate. "Captain, it's heading toward the Empire's central system," one officer reported, voice tight with fear. Leora's eyes narrowed. "Prepare for interception. We can't let it reach the capital." The object was no ordinary ship. Its surface shimmered, almost liquid, reflecting the distant light of the stars. It had no recognizable structure, no markings, no features. And yet, it seemed intelligent. Every move was deliberate. Every turn was precise. Every jump through space was calculated. As the Sentinel approached, the crew tried to scan it. Energy pulses, particle analyzers, even quantum scanners. Nothing worked. Every attempt to gather data ended in failure. Instruments overloaded, screens flickered, alarms blared. The object seemed to resist being understood. "Shields holding?" Liora asked, her tone calm but tense. "All stable. Captain for now," replied the chief engineer, though his hand shook slightly. He had seen the power of space anomalies before, but never one like this. The crew debated their next move. Engage? Observe? Retreat? No one wanted to make the wrong choice. One wrong move and the object might escape, or worse, attack. Liora paced the bridge, her mind racing with possibilities. This was bigger than any battle she had faced. This was unknown. This was danger wrapped in mystery. Then, without warning, the object made a jump, a sudden vanishing and reappearing just inside the Empire's shielded territory. Gasps echoed across the bridge. How did it get past their defenses so easily? How did it move without being detected? The questions came faster than the answers. The Empire scrambled their forces. Starships launched, weapons primed, but even their fastest craft could not match the object. It was a ghost, a phantom moving faster than thought, faster than reaction. "Captain, it's sending something," Caro stammered, pointing at the screen. A wave of energy radiated from the object. It wasn't a weapon, at least not in any known form. It was a pulse, a warning, or perhaps a message. No one could understand it. The waveform shifted in impossible patterns, like a language beyond comprehension. Liora, clench your fists. Keep trying to decode it. Whatever it is, we must understand it before it reaches the capital. The tension on the bridge was thick. Each crew member knew that the object was more than just a threat. It was a mystery, a puzzle that could not be solved with weapons alone. And in space, mysteries had a way of becoming deadly. Outside, the object hovered, shimmering in the cold void, untouchable, unstoppable, unknowable. It seemed almost alive. Every sensor they had failed. Every tactic they tried failed. It was as if the universe itself had sent them a challenge, and only humans would try to answer it. Liora stared at the blinking red dot on the screen, her jaw tight. Prepare for launch. Sentinel moves at full power. We follow it to the edge of the Empire and beyond if we must. The engines roared, the bridge shuddered, and the crew braced for the impossible chase. No one knew what they would find. No one knew who or what was out there. But one thing was certain. The galaxy would never be the same after this arrival. The object blinked once more, faster than the eye could track, and the chase began. The Sentinel raced through the void, engines roaring, as the object hovered just ahead. Its shimmering surface reflected starlight like liquid metal, twisting and shifting with every pulse of energy. Captain Liora gripped the console, eyes locked on the ghostly shape. The object wasn't just fast. It seemed aware, almost intelligent. Scanners still failing. Lieutenant Carroll reported, frustration creeping into his voice. It's like it's hiding. Every sensor we have is useless. Try the quantum arrays, Liora said, her tone sharp. Maybe it's something beyond conventional detection. The arrays hummed, spinning particles in precise patterns, attempting to map the object's energy. For a brief moment, the screen flickered, revealing a shape that made the crew catch their breath, but it vanished as quickly as it appeared. "It's alive," whispered Ensign Mara, unable to hide her awe. "No," Liora said firmly, though uncertainty flickered in her eyes. "Not alive like we know, but aware. Watch its movement. Everything it does is deliberate." Suddenly, the object pulsed again, releasing a wave of energy. The lights on the bridge flickered violently. Alarms blared. Crew members gripped consoles as a strange hum filled the air, vibrating through their bones. Shield holding. Liora barked. "Yes, Captain." "But the energy, it's unlike anything we've encountered," said Chief Engineer Talos. His hands moved over controls frantically, trying to stabilize the ship. "It's interacting with our systems." The crew stared in shock as the object made a sudden jump, a blink across space. One moment was ahead of them. The next, it appeared inside the Empire's shielded territory. Gasps echoed across the bridge. How had it bypassed the most secure defenses of the Empire? Leora's eyes narrowed. "Prepare a visual scan. I want to see what we're dealing with, even if we can't understand it." The screens lit up with a swirling, almost liquid pattern. The object's surface rippled like water, constantly changing, reflecting nothing familiar. It had no recognizable shape, no markings, no features. Yet it moved with intention. Every maneuver was precise, calculated, and deliberate. "Captain, it's observing us," Carroll said, voice trembling. "Every time we try to scan, it reacts." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. This was no ordinary vessel, no simple threat. It was a puzzle, a test, and perhaps a warning. "Open a communication channel." Liora ordered, "Let's try to speak to it. We may not understand it, but it may understand us." Static filled the bridge, a low hum that seemed to vibrate in their minds. And then a pulse, a wave of energy forming a pattern, almost like a language, but completely alien. Words, if they were words, were indecipherable. Symbols danced across the screens in impossible geometries. The object was trying to communicate, but no one could translate. "Try reverse analysis," Carroll suggested. "Maybe we can mimic its pattern." As the crew worked feverishly, the object made another jump, vanishing from the sensors for a heartbeat. When it returned, it was closer, far closer than anyone expected. The Empire fleet scrambled in panic. This was no ordinary pursuit. This was a test of patience, skill, and perhaps sanity. "Captain, we may be pushing it too hard," Mara said quietly. It doesn't like us getting too close." Liora clenched her jaw. "We don't have a choice. It's heading straight for the capital. We intercept or we fail. Full power. Prepare for direct approach." The object pulsed again, sending another wave of energy through the ship. Crew members felt a strange sensation, a pressure in their minds, a whisper at the edge of thought. No sound came to the speakers, but everyone understood the message in some instinctive way. "Do not follow blindly. Whatever it is," Liora said under her breath, "it's trying to teach us something." The bridge went silent, every eye fixed on the shifting, flickering anomaly ahead. The Sentinel pushed forward, weaving through its own Engine's shock waves. trying to keep up with a target that defied physics, logic, and imagination. And then, without warning, the object halted mid-space. It hovered in orbit around an uncharted planet, its surface glowing faintly with strange energy. The planet was barren, lifeless, yet something about it seemed alive. "Prepare a landing party," Liora said, her voice steady. "We are going down. This object, it wants us to see something. We will find out what." The crew exchanged tense glances. Each of them knew they were stepping into the unknown. No maps, no knowledge, no backup. Only the object and the unanswered questions it brought. Outside, the mysterious vessel shimmered like a living star. It waited patiently, silently, watching, and in that moment, the humans understood something. They were not the hunters. They were being observed. And whatever was observing them was far smarter than anyone in the Empire could imagine. The engines roared again, the Sentinel descending toward the strange planet. The crew braced themselves for the unknown. What lay ahead was a mystery beyond their understanding. But one thing was certain. The galaxy will remember this day. The object pulsed one final time, almost like a heartbeat, and the humans stepped closer to discovery that would change everything. The Sentinel surged through space, engines burning at maximum, as a mysterious object raced ahead. It moved with impossible speed, slipping past the Empire's fleet like a phantom. Every twist, every turn defied calculation. The crew gripped their consoles, eyes wide, hearts pounding. "Captain, we can't keep up," Lieutenant Carroll said, panic creeping into his voice. "Even the warp thrusters are failing. It's too fast." Leora's jaw tightened. "We don't have a choice. We follow no matter what. Prepare for evasive maneuvers." Outside the viewport, the stars streaked past, a dizzying blur. The object pulsed, leaving trails of strange, shimmering energy. It wasn't just moving. It was creating something in space, patterns that no human mind could fully comprehend. "Captain, look at the sensors." Ensign Mara pointed. On the scanners, fleeting visions appeared. Strange planets, massive structures, battles that hadn't happened yet. Or had they? The crew blinked, unsure if they were seeing reality or illusions. "Are those memories?" Mara whispered. "Or warnings," Talos muttered, his hands flying over the controls. "We don't know, but keep focused. Don't get distracted." The object suddenly veered sharply to the left. A small Empire scout ship tried to intercept it, firing weapons and activating its thrusters. The crew watched in horror as the scout disappeared in a blink, vanishing without a trace. No explosion, no debris, nothing. Did it absorb them? Carol asked, voice trembling. "No one knows," Liora said, her eyes narrowing. "This object isn't just fast. It's aware of us. Every move we make, it anticipates." The Sentinel continued the pursuit, weaving through asteroid fields and debris clouds. Each attempt to close the distance was met with a sudden jump from the object, reappearing light years away in moments. The fleet behind them struggled to follow, engines screaming, shields straining. "Captain, its energy trail, it's changing," Talos said. "Look, it's forming some kind of pattern. Coordinates? Signals? I can't tell." Liora studied the displays. The trail twisted and curved like a massive web across space. "It's guiding us," she realized aloud. "Or testing us." Suddenly, the object halted near an uncharted planet. Its surface shimmered with energy, reflecting light like liquid metal. The planet itself seemed strange, barren but glowing, lifeless yet alive. "Prepare a drop pod," Liora commanded. "We're going down. The object wants us there, and I intend to find out why." The crew exchanged tense glances. The unknown planet lay below, an alien landscape untouched by the Empire. Every instinct screamed danger, but curiosity and duty pushed them forward. As the Sentinel approached orbit, the object pulsed one last time, almost like a heartbeat. The energy waves radiated across the ship, a silent message that filled their minds. Follow. Observe. Understand. Liora took a deep breath. "We are being tested," she said quietly. "And whatever's out there, it wants more than our weapons. It wants our minds. Outside, the stars shimmered, the object hovering silently above the planet. The chase had ended, but the real journey was about to begin. Talos' voice broke the silence. Captain, the patterns, it's showing us something. Symbols, visions. It's teaching us. Mara shivered. Or warning us. I feel like we're standing on the edge of something bigger than us. Liora nodded. Exactly. And if we fail to understand, the consequences will be worse than we can imagine. Prepare the landing team. We step onto that planet. Every sensor, every precaution, use them all. We do not know what's waiting for us. The Sentinel descended slowly toward the glowing surface. Outside the viewport, jagged rock formations floated in the thin atmosphere, glimmering with the same strange energy as the object. The air, if it could be called air, shimmered like heat waves, distorting light and space. Keep scanning, Liora instructed. We need every bit of data before we land. Something about this place that's alive. The crew worked in tense silence, hearts racing, eyes glued to the strange, alien terrain below. The object hovered above, watching, waiting, silent. Then, as the landing pods prepared to detach, the object pulsed once more, a wave of light spreading across the planet's surface. For a heartbeat, the planet seemed to respond, glowing brighter, revealing patterns in the rock and dust. Symbols, almost like a map, leading somewhere unknown. Captain, it's guiding us, Mara said softly, on her voice. Yes, Liora said, her eyes narrowing, and we will follow. Whatever this is, it brought us here for a reason, and we are about to find out what that reason is. The engines roared as the landing pod detached, descending toward the glowing planet. The chase was over, but the real encounter, first contact, was just beginning. Outside, the object hovered silently, almost patiently. It had chosen humans. It had tested them. And now, it was ready to reveal the first secrets of a mystery that would change the galaxy forever. The crew braced for what lay ahead. Unknown dangers, unknown knowledge, and a story that none of them could have imagined were waiting just below the shimmering surface. The landing pods pierced the thin, shimmering atmosphere of the planet. The surface glowed faintly under the eerie light, casting long, distorted shadows over jagged rock formations. Captain Liora's pod touched down with a soft thrum, dust and small stones floating weightlessly in the strange, low gravity. The crew stepped out cautiously. The air, or what passed for air, was breathable, but tinged with metallic taste. A faint hum vibrated underfoot, almost imperceptible, yet unnerving. Every member of the landing team felt it, a subtle reminder that this place was alive in ways they could not understand. Scanners say nothing, yet everything is unusual, Lieutenant Carroll muttered, waving his device over glowing ground. Energy readings are off the charts, like the planet itself is to wear. Keep your eyes open, Liora said, her voice calm but tense. We don't know what we're dealing with. One wrong step, and we could trigger anything. The crew moved forward, boots crunching softly on a surface that felt both solid and liquid under their weight. Strange rock formations hovered slightly above the ground, suspended as if by invisible hands. Patterns etched into stones glowed faintly, resembling symbols, maps, or instructions. No one could be sure. Look at this, Mara whispered, pointing to a series of glyphs carved into a massive stone slab. It almost looks like it's moving. Indeed, the symbols seemed to shift slightly as their eyes scanned them, like shadows dancing in the corner of perception. A pulse of light ran across the glyphs, following the crew as if it were alive. Careful, Liora warned. Everything here is reacting to us. It's not just a planet. It's a system or maybe a being, and it knows we're here. They ventured deeper into the glowing landscape, finding massive structures, ruins that suggested a civilization far beyond human understanding. Towering spires, impossible angles, and floating platforms defied all logic. No signs of life, yet the place radiated intelligence. This civilization, Talos muttered, eyes wide, it's advanced beyond anything we know, faster than the Empire, faster than any recorded species, and it's gone vanished, or hiding. Suddenly, the hum underfoot grew louder, resonating with their very bones. Shadows stretched unnaturally, and the glowing glyphs pulsed in unison, forming a pattern that pointed toward a central structure, a pyramid-like building that seemed to float above the ground. Looks like directions, Mara said. Or an invitation. Or a trap, Carol muttered. But Leora's mind was already made up. We follow it, carefully. Every step, every scan. We find out what it wants us to see. As they approached the central structure, the air shimmered more intensely. A faint energy barrier surrounded the floating pyramid, but it didn't feel hostile, more like testing them. The glyphs on the ground pulsed faster, almost like a heartbeat. Liora raised her hand. Spread out, but stay within visual range. We need to understand this and document everything. The landing team advanced slowly, scanning, recording, and noting every detail. Suddenly, the ground trembled slightly, and a holographic projection burst into existence above the pyramid. Lights and shapes formed, showing glimpses of distant galaxies, massive fleets, and battles that had never occurred, or had yet to occur. The crew gasped. Visions or warnings? Mara whispered, her eyes wide. Both, maybe, Liora said, her voice steady. Whatever created this, it left messages. For us, or for whoever comes after. A pulse of energy radiated from the central structure. Each crew member felt it differently. Memories that weren't theirs flickered in their minds. Alien cities, strange beings, and technologies far beyond comprehension. Some glimpses of war, some of peace. All of them left the humans shaken, unsure what was real and what was message. Carol rubbed his temples. It's sharing knowledge, but not like a lesson, more like a memory we weren't meant to see yet. Focus, Liora said firmly. We are here to understand, not panic. Document everything, analyze everything. The Empire will want this data, and it may save lives. Or more. The object, the one that led them here, hovered silently above the pyramid. Its glow was soft but intense, as if observing the crew's every reaction. Every pulse of light seemed to respond to their emotions, their hesitation, and their curiosity. Captain, Mara said quietly, it's guiding us, or testing us. I think it wants us to prove something. Perhaps, Liora replied. Perhaps it wants to see if humans can handle what comes next, whatever that is. They moved closer to the pyramid. The glowing glyphs underfoot pointed the way, forming a path that led to an entrance suspended above the surface. No doors, no handles, just a shimmering opening inviting them in. Liora exchanged a glance with her team. We go in, one step at a time. Eyes open, minds open, and be ready for anything. The team took a collective breath, stepping toward the glowing entrance. Behind them, the object hovered silently, a silent guardian, a guide, and a mystery all at once. The real secrets of the planet, and perhaps the galaxy, waited inside. And as the humans crossed the threshold, they realized something terrifying and exhilarating. They were not just explorers. They were part of a story that had begun long before them, and one that would shape the future of everything. The crew stepped carefully into the floating pyramid. Light shimmered around them, illuminating walls that were smooth yet inscribed with countless glyphs. The air vibrated with energy, and the faint hum beneath their feet grew stronger, almost like a heartbeat. This place, Lieutenant Carroll whispered, all in his voice, it's alive. I can feel it watching. Captain Liora nodded. It's not just a structure. It's a message, a warning, and I think it's meant for us. The object hovered silently above the pyramid, pulsing gently. Its glow reflected on the walls, highlighting strange holographic displays that appeared as the crew walked. Floating images of star systems, fleets, and planets filled the air, like a map of the galaxy, but with signs of danger. Look at this, Mara said, pointing to a projection. Massive alien ships, faster and bigger than anything the Empire had ever built, moved across star systems. The holographic battle unfolded in slow motion, yet it felt immediate, threatening. They're coming, Talos muttered, his voice low. Some kind of fleet, and it's huge. way beyond our capability. The crew exchanged tense glances. The object was showing them visions, but they weren't just history. They were warnings of the future. Captain, Carol's voice trembled. The object, it's not hostile. It's a messenger. It's telling us something is coming. Something dangerous. Liora studied the symbols and the holograms. It's a cosmic threat. A fleet faster than anything we've seen. Advanced, relentless, unstoppable if we're not prepared. The pyramid hummed, responding to their understanding. Light pulses ran along the walls and floor, forming shapes and pathways that seemed to guide the humans deeper. Each step they took revealed more. Alien civilizations, technologies, and battles fought long ago, or perhaps yet to come. Why us? Mara whispered. Why show this to humans? Leora's eyes narrowed. Because the object thinks we can do something about it. Humans are small in this galaxy, yes, but adaptable, creative, and brave. Maybe the object believes in us. Another pulse of energy ran through the pyramid. The crew felt in their bones, a message not in words, but in feeling, urgency, responsibility, and choice. The object had led them here for a reason. Prepare to record everything. Liora ordered, we need every detail. The Empire won't believe this without proof, and if this threat is real, lives depend on it. The object descended closer, merging part of its energy field with the pyramid. Holographic symbols swirled around the humans, creating a network of knowledge. In flashes, they saw battle strategies, advanced technologies, and warnings on how to survive encounters with the approaching fleet. Captain, it's teaching us, Carol said, awestruck. It's giving us tools, knowledge, and maybe power. Yes, Liora agreed. We must learn quickly. This isn't just about observation. It's about preparation, survival, and perhaps leadership. Suddenly, the pyramid pulsed again, projecting an enormous vision of the approaching fleet. Thousands of ships faster than light, dark and imposing, moving toward the Empire's central systems. The humans felt the weight of inevitability. If they did nothing, everything would be lost. Mara swallowed hard. This is bigger than anything we imagined. Even the Empire can't stop that. That's why it chose us, Liora said firmly. Humans, small, underestimated, but capable of thinking beyond rules and protocol, were the spark, the choice, the factor the Empire hasn't counted on. The object pulsed one final time, and a holographic interface appeared in front of Liora. Symbols rearranged themselves, forming instructions, tactics, and strategies, not in a language they could read, but in a way they understood instinctively. Their minds aligned with the message. This is incredible, Taylor said, barely believing it. It's sharing everything. Knowledge, warnings, even solutions. Liora studied the visions. We have a chance to prepare, to fight, to survive, and maybe to protect more than just humans. The object hovered above the pyramid, silent, patient, almost expectant. Its glow bathed the humans, a reminder of their responsibility. Whatever they had learned, whatever preparations they made, they were now part of a larger story, one that spanned galaxies, civilizations, and time itself. Remember this, Liora said, turning to her crew. The Empire will not believe this. We are small, but we are smart. We are adaptable, and we have knowledge they do not. This is our moment, and we must rise to it. Outside, the object pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. It had given them the warning, shared the knowledge, and chosen them. Now it was up to the humans to decide, fight, survive, and rise, or be forgotten. The galaxy was watching, and for the first time, humans were not just observers. They were a critical part of the future. Back aboard the Sentinel, the crew tried to process everything they had seen. The pyramid, the object, the visions of an incoming fleet. They were staggering in scale, beyond anything the Empire had ever faced. Yet their first priority was clear. Communicate this to the higher command. Captain, Lieutenant Carroll said nervously, we need to send a report immediately. The Empire has to know. They can't ignore this. Liora shook her head. We can't just report it. The Empire will dismiss it, or worse. They'll try to control it. They don't understand humans. And they definitely don't understand this object. The communication channels were busy with Empire ships. Flags and symbols flashed across the view screen as the fleet scrambled to track the object. Sensors showed massive ships moving at impossible speeds, still ahead, but now approaching core Empire systems. Captain, we've been ordered to intercept the humans and the object, Caro said. Fleet Command, they don't trust us. They see the object as a threat. Leora's jaw tightened. Then we do what we must. Humans first. Knowledge second. Empire's politics can wait. We cannot let them destroy this or us. Outside, the Empire's fastest ships formed a blockade. Their weapons glinted under distant starlight, engines roaring in a show of power. The humans were outnumbered, but they had something the Empire did not. Understanding. The object had shared knowledge, strategy, and warnings. Engage evasive maneuvers. Liora ordered. Do not fire unless necessary. Keep the object safe. That's our priority. The Sentinel twisted and turned through asteroid fields. Energy pulses from the object creating a shield of sorts, deflecting weapons and guiding the humans away from danger. Every movement was precise, almost choreographed. The humans were no longer merely fleeing. They were dancing through space, outsmarting a fleet far superior in numbers and firepower. Captain, they're not just suspicious, Talos said, voice tense. They're preparing to attack the object directly. If they hit it, we're finished. Liora, clench your fists. Then we prevent it. Full speed, full focus. And remember, the Empire underestimates humans. That's our advantage. Suddenly, the object pulsed, and a wave of energy engulfed part of the Sentinel. Lights flickered, screens glowed, and for a moment, the humans felt stronger, faster, more aware. The object had merged some of its energy with their systems, enhancing them, preparing them for what was coming. This is incredible, Mara whispered. It's giving us power. Yes, Liora said firmly, and with it, we have a chance. The Empire doesn't understand it yet, but we will. The fleet closed in, weapons primed, engines screaming. But the humans moved like shadows, guided by the object, anticipating every attack. Missiles and energy blasts missed by fractions, shields held against impossible odds. And for a moment, the impossible became routine. Then came the unexpected. The fleet commander's voice blasted over the comms. Humans, surrender the object. It is a threat to the Empire. Do not resist or be destroyed. Liora stared at the holographic display. Threat? They don't understand. This isn't about control. It's about survival. We cannot surrender. Not now. Not ever. The crew exchanged determined glances. They had seen the truth. They had seen the fleet coming, faster than anything in history, and they had been chosen, guided, and empowered to face it. The Empire could not stop them. Not yet. Prepare for direct engagement. Liora ordered. Not to destroy them, but to evade, outsmart, and survive. This object is our guide. Humans are the fact of the galaxy didn't expect, and we will prove it. Outside, the void of space became a battlefield of wits, speed, and strategy. Humans, empowered by an alien intelligence, outmaneuvered the Empire's fleet at every turn. It was a test of ingenuity, courage, and resilience. The object pulsed gently, almost approvingly. The humans were learning quickly, adapting faster than any Empire strategist had predicted. Every evasive maneuver, every calculated risk, displayed the ingenuity the Empire had always underestimated. Captain, Caro said, eyes wide, we're holding them off. They can't predict us. Not fully. Leora's lips curled into a faint smile. That's the human factor. Unpredictable, clever, and above all, relentless. We are small, but we are not powerless. The fleet's frustration grew as humans danced through impossible attacks, guided by knowledge, strategy, and mysterious power beyond comprehension. The chase was over, but a greater challenge loomed on the horizon. The approaching alien fleet, faster and more dangerous than anything seen before. And in that moment, the humans understood something fundamental. The Empire may be powerful, but humans were chosen for a reason. They were the spark, the factor, and the defenders of a future yet to come. The object pulsed once more, a heartbeat of light and energy, signaling the humans' readiness. The real battle against the incoming cosmic threat was about to begin. The void of space shimmered with anticipation. Beyond the distant stars, an alien fleet approached, faster and larger than anything the humans, or even the Empire, had ever imagined. Ships glinted like black diamonds, weapons charged, engines blazing. It was a force of destruction, vast and merciless. Captain Liora gripped the console. Her crew was tense, but their eyes shone with determination. They had seen the object's guidance, learned its lessons, and felt its energy merge with their own systems. They were humans, small against the galaxy, but not powerless. Prepare for engagement, Liora ordered. We are not just fighting to survive. We are fighting to prove that humans can make a difference. Outside, the Sentinel and the fleet moved with precision, weaving between alien ships that seemed impossible to evade. Every strike, every evasive maneuver showed the humans' creativity and adaptability. Weapons that were outmatched in technology were outsmarted by human strategy. The HFY factor, the human spark, was visible in every action. Lieutenant Carroll pointed at a cluster of alien destroyers. Captain, if we use the energy trails left by the object, we can create a decoy. Draw them into the asteroid field. Liora nodded. Do it. Humans think fast. That's our advantage. The decoy worked flawlessly. Alien ships followed the energy trails, colliding with the dense asteroid field, damaging themselves. The humans slipped past, unseen, using ingenuity over brute force. Every human instinct, every learned strategy, every daring move mattered. Captain, shields holding at 90%. Talos reported, sweat on his brow. They're adapting, but slower than us. We have the edge momentarily. Good, Liora said. Keep pushing. Every move counts. Suddenly, one of the alien capital ships fired a massive beam, cutting through space like lightning. The Sentinel shook violently. Crew members were thrown from consoles. Mara gritted her teeth, taking control of the defensive systems. Redirect energy to forward shields. And fire every countermeasure we have, she shouted. The humans responded with precision, using the object's guidance and their own ingenuity. Energy pulses reflected. Shields reinforced, and for a heartbeat, humans and object worked as one. A single pulse from the object struck the alien capital ship, disabling its engines temporarily. The crew cheered silently. The impossible had become possible. Captain, the fleet commander is trying to regroup, Carroll reported. They're faster than expected, but we're still ahead strategically. Liora's eyes narrowed. Then we use our advantage. Humans think, improvise, and adapt. That's what no alien fleet can predict. That's the human factor. The Sentinel darted between enemy ships, creating unpredictable paths. Smaller ships followed, humans coordinating with instinct and strategy. Alien weapons misfired, destroyed their own formations, or missed entirely. The humans were a storm of speed and intelligence, proving that even against overwhelming odds, creativity and courage mattered. Then came the final challenge. The alien flagship, massive and imposing, appeared directly ahead. Its weapons glowed, ready to obliterate the humans in a single strike. Every crew member froze, feeling the weight of impossibility. Steady, Liora said, her voice calm but resolute. We've faced the impossible before. Now we face the inevitable. But humans, we find a way. Always. Using the object's energy and guidance, the humans executed a daring maneuver. They split the flagship's formation using decoy pulses, outflanked its defenses, and struck its core engines with precision only humans could manage. The flagship faltered, its systems overloaded, and for the first time, the alien fleet hesitated. Captain, it's working, Mara exclaimed, eyes wide. Yes, Liora said, a faint smile on her face. The impossible is only impossible until humans do it. The alien fleet retreated, regrouping far beyond the reach of the humans. The Sentinel and the fleet hovered in silence, victorious but aware that the greater threat still loomed. They had survived, proven their ingenuity, and demonstrated the human spark. The object pulsed gently above them, almost approvingly. Its energy merged briefly with the Sentinel, a silent acknowledgement of the humans' courage, creativity, and resilience. They had passed the test. Liora looked at her crew, pride shining in her eyes. Humans may be small in this galaxy, but today we showed that intelligence, courage, and adaptability can change the course of events. We are the spark that cannot be ignored. Mara nodded, tears in her eyes. We did it because we worked together, and because we dared to try. The stars stretched endlessly around them, calm now after the storm. The galaxy remained vast and dangerous, but for the first time, humans were not merely participants. They were influential, critical, and capable of shaping the future. The object hovered silently, its mission complete for now. It had chosen humans, guided them, tested them, and now it left them with knowledge, power, and responsibility. Liora whispered softly, almost to herself, "No ID, no signal, no origin, but humans, we are the factor that can make a difference." The Sentinel and its crew turned toward the stars, ready for the challenges ahead. The galaxy had watched, and it had learned one undeniable truth. Humans, underestimated for so long, were not to be ignored. The chase, the discovery, the knowledge, and the battle had led to this moment. Humans had proven themselves, and this was only the beginning. The void of space stretched endlessly, calm for the first time in what felt like centuries. The Sentinel hovered among the stars, engines humming softly. The alien fleet had retreated, their advance stalled by humans' ingenuity and the mysterious guidance of the object. Captain Liora stood on the bridge, gazing at the distant shimmer of the galaxy. Her crew moved quietly around her, still processing the chaos, the knowledge, and the power they had witnessed. They had survived impossible odds. They had proven humans were more than small, expendable cogs in the Empire's machine. They were the spark that could change the future. Yet, something lingered in the silence. The object had been calm since the battle, its energy now soft, almost contemplative. It pulsed gently, as if reminding them that their victory was only the first step. Lieutenant Carroll approached cautiously. "Captain, what now?" "The Empire, the galaxy, the fleet we saw." Liora turned to him, her eyes steady. "Now we prepare. This was just a test. The object guided us, taught us, and showed us a threat. But the real danger, the real challenge is still out there." Outside, the stars shimmered, but beyond them, faint blips flickered in space. Signs of unknown ships, traveling faster than sensors could fully detect. The galaxy was vast, and humans, small as they were, now held knowledge that others didn't. Even powers guided by the mysterious object. Mara whispered, almost to herself, "Do you think it will come back?" Liora's gaze drifted to the glowing silhouette of the object hovering silently above the Sentinel. "I don't know, but I do know this. It chose us. And wherever it goes next, humans will be ready. We adapt, we survive, and we rise." The object pulsed one last time, sending a wave of energy through the ship, imprinting a sense of purpose in every human aboard. Memories of alien civilizations, advanced technologies, and cosmic battles lingered in their minds. They now carried a spark, the knowledge and courage to stand against threats far larger than themselves. Talos moved toward the main console, scanning the horizon. "Captain, I'm detecting anomalies. Signals. They're faint, but there's something moving toward us, faster than the retreating fleet." Liora's lips pressed into a thin line. "Then we prepare. Humans have faced the impossible before, and we will do it again. The galaxy thinks it has seen us. It hasn't. Not yet." A soft hum filled the bridge, the same gentle pulse from the object. It was neither warning nor command. It was promise. The universe was vast, dangerous, and full of mysteries. And humans, they were no longer insignificant. They had become the factor that could tip the scales. Set course, Liora said, voice firm. We follow the object, wherever it leads. We're going beyond the horizon now. And whatever is out there, we'll see what humans are truly capable of. Outside the viewport, the stars stretched into streaks as the Sentinel accelerated toward the unknown, leaving behind the planet, the retreating fleet, and the echoes of battles past. Ahead lay new worlds, new threats, and new discoveries. The galaxy was waiting, and somewhere in the infinite darkness, the object pulsed once more, a silent guardian, a guide, a mystery without name or origin. But humans were ready. For the first time in history, the galaxy had witnessed what the smallest species, the underestimated humans, could do when guided by courage, intellect, and determination. The adventure was far from over, and the stars were just the beginning.